Yep, Blue Hill call is to order at 6 o'clock.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody, welcome everybody. Glad to see you here. All right, number 3 on the agenda is discuss fire department model apparatus position. Mr. Case, I'll let you take that on our end unless you guys
This is
start or whatever.
this is on here simply going along with what, if you have room in the maybe new facility, you have what you were looking to have over there. I certainly, have a thought process on that, but then to have that discussion with this Baldwin City Council and see what they think. So I thought this would be a good time to at least discuss the future, with the rig positioning and that kind of thing. So what are you guys, you have some experience in the fire service. What are you, as a Blue Hill board, looking to have for over there?
So is everyone familiar with what she's talking about? I know we are. If you guys are caught up to speed, so.
Sounds like you're gonna build a new town hall or something like that, or at least it's on the horizon for it.
It's going to vote for the residents at our annual meeting in March we're proposing to build a new township hall, which is going to consist of the township hall and a garage facility, with the intention of, we know that if we have something out there, we know that they'd like to park some rigs out there for better response.
Sure.
Time in Blue Hill. It can serve for whatever purposes Blue Hill needs it for in the future. Right now, we don't need any other need than, so it's for, it's gonna be a four bay garage with 3 doors. One bay won't have a garage. It's not gonna be a full, so you kind of seen the layouts, because there could be possibly a water tank for refilling a tender if it's out there. So that fourth one, it's gonna be a little bit smaller. I think we could still get 4 rigs out there if we wanted to, with
Okay.
one being a grass rig. But it'll be 2 deep, 2 wide. So with 3 doors, so you can respond, basically have everything except for that smaller bay.
Okay.
The chief has seen the layouts that we've come up with. I think we've kind of discussed a little bit with you. Obviously, it'd be nice to see a grass rig, and eventually, I know you only have one right now, but I think you're getting a second one. A pumper tender would be awesome.
No.
But I know that's.
My thought process is, and with the understanding that in the future, you may have your own public works rigs that would force us out of there. That said, at least in the interim, to have a grass rig out there and our older tender to start with. And just because you're not, you're up in that west side, it would definitely help with medical response out there and fire response for getting people there. But it also helps with response this way, because we have firefighters that live there that have to drive here to then take a rig to go out there. So in that response, they could go to that station and grab their stuff, take one of those rigs and come anywhere, even if it is on the east side of, rather than having to come here and then go that way. But those are some thought processes there. What, in reality of doing it, it takes a little, there'll be some adjustments, that kind of thing. And again, it still has to, go through your public and see what they go for. But I think it would at least in the short term help with some crowding that we have over here, and just dangerous situation with so many rigs. But the grass fire issue, the reason that I thought about is the grass rig and the tender, especially with the refuge and all that out there. We have way bigger wildland issue in Blue Hill than we do in Baldwin, even though we still do have in Baldwin. So that's from the fire department's perspective. I thought maybe the Baldwin City Council might have some thoughts on that.
And real quick, just as far as like public works, we're hoping that that's a long way We're not looking to get into that. We're just,
Right.
if we're gonna design a building and build it, we might as well look for the future, what could possibly come.
And the only reason I said that is because we're all elected officials. You could get a total new board and we could get a total new council and things may change.
Actually, I have a couple things. So are you guys building that with the hopes of getting a couple of pieces of fire equipment? Or are you building it in case you could get that out there?
Both, either.
You would like to see a couple of pieces of fire equipment?
I wouldn't, yeah.
I think it helps with a response, yes.
And
And then also too, we would know that, I mean, obviously, with the contract, if we did something with the contract or whatever, ultimately rent-free.
Yep.
So we're not gonna lease.
The only,
We also did, I'd heard a little bit about this, whatever. So we did dive into the insurance. And we'll have to address that with the League of Minnesota. Told it shouldn't be a problem.
And,
That works.
and I looked into it for our side too. It sounds like we cover the building, you guys cover the equipment.
And I think that was part of what their reservations were. Your building, And I think when that time comes, if and when, what we would do is work on a contract at that point in time. We went, I think if we, for your sakes, trying to put this to the public as well, whatever. But to have the part in the contract about putting fire equipment.
And just so you guys are aware, we've been getting positive feedback from residents so far. And also when you talk about if and when, so we have plans already kind of drawn up and everything. We plan on, if this gets approved March, to hit the ground running. We would like to. Yep.
yeah, I think in regards to the contract and things that the fire department would put there, such as lockers or whatever, anything that we would be able to take back out, we could, as a Baldwin, could own, like lockers, that kind of thing, up for the firefighters. But everything else, that would be Blue Hills.
Yep, and that, we kind of discussed that already too. Anything that would stay, would obviously, we gear lockers and stuff, again, yeah, Baldwin would bring what we were.
And we are exploring grants to help out any of that.
When we think about, if we put, let's say, a tender and a grass rig. Anyway, ultimately, what kind of lockers, what kind of other personnel equipment would we?
Basically, we need probably 10 or so of the gear lockers that we have over at the fire station currently, the gear grid. Just maybe a couple storage shelves for fire equipment, but I don't know a ton of. Huh? Well, you just you'd need a corner where you'd have a base radio, but you wouldn't need a lot of room or, designated. You don't want it to get, all roaded and stuff, but there should, under the plans there, you have enough room to, and the dispatch radio out there probably wouldn't get used all that often. We do have portables too, so.
Well, and I'm thinking with the gear lockers and the equipment, redundancy gear.
Yep.
And then how would we choose, I'm going way deep now, how would we choose which firefighters? All of them? How would we know which ones would be sent actually and dispatched?
So my plan is, those that currently are within a closer distance to the Blue Hill station, and that's mostly the Blue Hill residents. We'd have a locker over there with their gear there. but they'd also have they have two sets of gear now. They'd have another locker over here with their gear. And that way, they go to either station, have all the same equipment, get on a rig, blah, blah, blah. Most, basically anybody who lives on the east side of 169 would not have a locker out there. There's no point in it to be an overly redundant reason to do that. And most of them that live, in the, even on the western side, unless you're within, some close distance to getting over to their, the new Blue Hill Town Hall, because that is so far in the northwest area, is it really, a good idea? Unless the fire or incident is right in that northwest area, there would be no reason even for some of the Blue Hill people to go over there, so they would come to this station.
Well, and I was thinking more obviously along the lines of the turnout gear and these kinds of things, because we have two sets for a reason.
Yep.
Right? So if they're gonna add those over there as well, I think really need to be well.
We don't necessarily need to, because if they use one up, they have to clean it right away. And we're in the same situation now. They could just take the good set and keep them in the rig, in their personal vehicle at that point. That was my thought, because a set of turnout gear is super expensive at this point, and I
wouldn't say,
on that road.
They'd have to
I
come
wouldn't
here to
say
watch
double,
that.
yeah, I wouldn't say double up on gear.
That's what I was getting.
Yeah, I
at.
was just
So
gonna say.
once it's coming over here for the extractor, there's nothing over there.
We're
They could
You just have
They
to
could
grab
put this
theirs
out
from
there.
here
Yeah.
and take it over.
Their backup that's here, they could move up to there until it's clean.
yeah, yeah, or put in their vehicle.
And, yeah, we kind of want to stay with that. But,
I you know what I'm saying?
and we're not reinventing the wheel. Princeton's actually been doing this for about 15 years with Why Not? So we've kind of toured that and kind of gotten some ideas with them and everything, so.
I just don't want to see anybody or some people show up someplace with no gear.
And the way,
We shoot ourselves in the foot.
We do have some extra gear so everybody's got two sets, but that doesn't mean that's all the gear we have. We have some extra gear that we could use to fill the gap, as it were, until the point, as we continue on and that kind of thing. So,
No, 'cause it definitely, it helps us out too, whatever, because I see a benefit.
right.
And if a call comes in Blue Hill, it's faster for your residents too, if they show up to Blue Hill and then go to Baldwin, or will that never be a scenario?
If the call comes,
If a call comes in, they respond to Blue Hill with equipment
yeah,
and then go into Baldwin.
yeah.
Is
I
it-
think,
you know, that could-
depending on what the call is, it could, if it's a actual house fire, we only really have the tender over there that can respond to the house fire. And we have a couple firefighters that live very close to the station. The engines will come out of here, at least for now, the engines would come out here, so they should come here, but it's still faster. So if we have a grass fire, it's way faster for them to go to Blue Hill, even if we have a grass fire over on the east side, to go get that equipment and get going that way.
or medical.
Yeah, or medical, yeah.
And so, yeah, so also keep in mind, even though we mentioned the two equipment, that technically there'll be 3 nice parking spots to respond out of.
I think that, well, that new pump, I mean, everybody knows that new Pierce, whatever.
I want to correct that. I misspoke about that. It's 28. It's 28. That was my fault. I misspoke at a meeting and said 27. It actually is July of 28 is when it's coming. So,
But anyway, well, then when that happens, then I don't know that it's a while from here to 28 and a couple elections and whatever else happens as well. But I would think that we wouldn't necessarily be in the business of getting rid of any equipment.
Changes things a little bit, yeah.
Yes, right.
It-
The original concept of a possible pump out there, I could see that.
Why sell something for pennies on the dollar if you can utilize it still?
And that's certainly something to look at and be apparent and depending on this, the situation. And I think it wouldn't be a bad thought process, especially with the call volume going up. And in fact, we've had a bunch of fires over in Blue Hill since the first of the year, so.
Well, and if we're gonna do a water truck tender,
Yep, that's what we talked about. There's already designed a mezzanine back there. We've tossed around, that probably won't be immediately, but we're tossing around some kind of a
elevated tank.
elevated tank or a tank. So why not for Princeton currently has a tank on the floor they pump up. So we're kind of discussing the pros and cons of that versus having it elevated to just gravity dump into the. So there will be options.
No, because I thought about that for here. Gravity fed tank, pump the water into that. Don't need it.
Yep.
Sand to settle out because no matter how you filter it, it's gonna.
A lot of benefits to having it elevated.
Now, when you back a truck in there, you got about 2 minutes.
Yep.
I mean, you could go by gravity. Anyway.
That's what I think we're kind of planning on. That's kind of what we're hoping for, but we'll have options.
So Chief, you saw the plans, you like what,
I think for you, what you guys are doing for you is perfect. It works for us. I at least in the the next decade, I see no issues at all with what you've done there. And I think it'll work long term. I mean, nothing's been built yet, we're not, you always go, okay, is there a way to make this better? There might be some of those sometime down in the future, but I think better than what we got right now. So,
I would also go out on a limb here now and say that if we build our new facility, I think that ultimately there wouldn't be any bearing on the size of the facility. Planned for at this point, I think, is what we still will, not necessarily with the thoughts of taking it.
Yep.
And so we'd still keep equipment.
that's what I would agree.
Your 15 minutes is up.
Told you 14. All right. Anything else on the apparatus? Anything else?
I'm good.
Are we good to move on? Number 4, board or the fire contract. Questions or thoughts?
One thing I was thinking, like you had mentioned, hoping that this does go forward, do we want to revise our contract once this is in place, if it goes in place?
So my thought is that at that point, once you have your building built, then we should revise the contract to reflect that. Same, take a year to get out of that kind of thing. I had a thought in my head and I just went, yeah, I think we revised the contract to reflect that. The other, I remember was, the other thing is if we are, if we're good with, once we get that contract revised in the future and all that, just the thought process down the line, do we need to have this yearly meeting or can we make it as called by either the town board or the city council would request to have the meeting, we could have the meeting rather than designate that we have to have it.
I don't know that we've had to. I mean, so far up till now, it worked out just because of changes and everything else.
Right.
I think once we're going in smooth, I think if we have it scheduled and then determine if we need it or not, maybe.
And that's one of those things in the contract, I would thought that down in the future that we take a look at, just simply because if there's nothing to discuss, why have the meeting?
Well, the other part of that, first of all, I don't know that we should, I don't think anything is going to change monetarily, whatever, for the numbers in the contract or the length of the contract. So to try and muddy the waters tonight of what that would look like, I think that would not a good thing to do at this point.
Correct.
But I think that in addition to the contract, that entire scope of insurances and help you over your building. That would be a contract, but more like an addition. I think we could come up with that as we go. To know when it would start, or those, even if you get the go-ahead in March, you really wouldn't know until the contractors are signed and the contractors are ready exactly what. But as soon as you go to that point, now we could start talking about, hey,
Right.
what does this look like? Add that to this.
You guys good with that?
Sounds good. I mean, it's got to pass first, so.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was passed first. The formulas, does anybody have any questions on the formulas? You can see as they go through it, these are all the figures that the contract spelled out, and, I've got the last 3 years call volume, the taxable market value from 2025, the population from 2025, and then our operational budget, which then kicks it up to this figure, so.
And I don't see any red letters on here, so this is all the same?
Actual agreement, yeah, I believe. it is.
Nothing should.
Yeah, we didn't do anything with that.
The only thing I saw was the payment amount for 2025 will be 55,000. And the payment for 2026 will be 50.
Yep. Yeah, and this contract, this formula is for 2027, so.
Okay.
So that's just to let you know, this is for 2027. We're already in the
Good through
2026. Yeah.
Yep.
This is just
We've
so
gotten
moving forward.
our first payment. And if you look, you look at what how the formula works there, it's how it's for services for 2027, and then we're using the 2025 figures.
Okay, yep.
So, and as you can see, the payment for 2027 will then be 50,780, so it's,
$780 more than this year.
yeah, not significant. And
Not at all.
one of the reasons is that, to be honest, the call volume in Baldwin has gone up significantly, and that's reflective to that. And it's offsetting with the fact that the fire budget slowly goes up, but the call volume has gone like this, so it's probably not gonna go up significantly. At least that seems to be the apparent trend with this formula.
Okay.
Transfer of these
So then if we ask for that at our annual meeting,
I'll just be on top of this.
right, but which year will it go to?
I would say this one would go, this one we vote on will go for 26. Would that work?
This is for
So
27.
this is our own,
You've got 26 done.
Real quick, so I don't remember if we discussed it here, if we discussed it back at ours. We are extremely happy with the fire service, I believe, correct?
yep,
And we're extremely happy with the cost. And one thing we're keeping an eye on is for both sides to keep this fair and for our residents, is we really don't want to see our costs go down as you guys go up. So it came up and Edward brought up that we're going to vote for it on the annual meeting. Talking about which one was this before, that we want to kick back to get to the
Difference.
55. And so, and that's what he's asking, would that go for? So that's what I just asked Michelle. So I would think that we vote for it in March to kick back for the 26 budget, and then we would look at the same thing for 27, correct?
unless we can,
Do both?
when we present it to the meeting, just say it's 55. Here's what they want, We also want to give them 55 again
I,
to catch up. So then we're not doing this, because we had to wait a year.
Right. Just a suggestion is from the fire department is maybe designate that extra money is to put lockers for firefighters over there or things like that.
I think for us, for the residents, just be a kickback to you guys for your budget, however you deem necessary to keep our numbers low in the future even. Whatever you decide to do with it, I don't think we really care,
Prepay.
right?
No.
You guys will be voting your 2027 budget.
Correct.
So, I mean, anything that you talk about for 2026 would be budget.
Correct, but we could, for a 27 budget that 5,000 for the 26 cost of the fire service, to kick that back, so to stay up to date with you guys, is I think what we're looking at.
So you would then basically,
treasurer.
basically giving us 10,000, almost 10,000 in your
We're
27
prepaying.
budget.
Yeah,
We're prepaying it.
5,000 up front for this one, and then
Well-
just maintain 55,
Yep,
I think is what Edwards suggested.
yep.
Or just do the two, because it was, we didn't get much kickback at the meetings when we proposed that.
We've already discussed this, yeah.
Anyway, that's for us to.
Yeah,
figure
and
out.
you guys will figure it out, but we really do appreciate it. I mean, it makes it easier for us to justify the service and that kind of thing. And, you know, right now with the formulas, I think they work out. We're still doing okay. Our biggest problem is the call volume.
But not only that, with you guys expanding way faster than we ever will.
Yeah.
Like you said, in the future, ours could possibly go down also, so, and we don't really want to see that we're getting a break versus your guys's. Residents.
The only, in understanding the mathematical models, the only thing I foresee if Baldwin increases population and market value faster than Blue Hill, yours will only go down. Because if we pick up, say, another service area, yours will go down. You know what I mean? Because it gets divided up even more. So I don't foresee anything more than what you're gonna get here. So that, you understand where I'm coming from? The mathematical formulas pushes it to not getting significant, even might drop a little bit.
Other than the cost of doing business growing
Yeah,
as we grow, become a smaller piece of the
Yep,
pie.
yep.
the budget is the thing that's really gonna affect you guys in the cost raise. So if our budget goes up.
Your budget's 500,000, then the
Then
formula
The
changes and then
formula,
it's
well,
more.
you think about, 25% of 500,000 is a significant
Yep.
number. But, it jumps into those other numbers, but again, that's how it can affect, but it's not like we're going up crazy. Our budget for next year is 240, so it is going up a little bit.
And that's why we're hoping that by kicking back into your budget a little bit, that'll, you'll kind of control it. But I don't think it's fair for Blue Hill to, I think we're on board, to receive the same quality and
Service.
even more quantity of service, but yet be charged less.
And
Well, thank you. That's long ways.
definitely appreciative of it. There was one more point I was going to make with, and then I forgot. Too much going on.
But again, we're going to present that to our residents, and if, hopefully they say yes, so.
Again, who were at the meetings when we talked about this, everyone kind of seemed positive about it.
And I just remember what I was gonna talk about, and it comes to me quick. You have the cap built into the contract currently, so there's no, you've got that to protect you anyway, so.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do that, I would just remind that you're gonna be asking to take that extra out of the 2020.
No, I think that would have to come out 2027 to cover 26 for you guys. Taken out of our budget for 27, because that's what we're voting on. Correct? But it would go, we're proposing that goes for cover 2026.
Because it went down in 26.
Because it went down.
What's your concern?
So, well, I just, the semantics, I'm sticking my nose in. But as soon as you said that, I'm like, how would I have done that?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out.
And if we gotta do it one at a time, then that's what we'll have to do, so.
See your people.
We've kind of prepped them. I think they're good, but we'll, yeah, like Edward said, we'll worry about all that stuff.
Sweet. Then all we need is a motion.
For adjourning,
Just
no, we
approve
gotta
the contract.
We gotta approve the.
I'll make a
contract.
motion to approve the contract.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. So as this is a joint meeting, then we'll let you guys do your motion, if you will. And then
Oh,
we'll
actually,
What do you,
yeah, I'm gonna just,
oh, I'll make a motion to adjourn our.
because I'm,
You make a motion to approve the contract.
Oh, yeah, I make a motion to accept this. Someone else has to. He has to abstain.
yeah, because I'm a Bolton firefighter.
I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 2-0.
Make a motion.
I will second. As a
Yeah, I'm gonna do, because otherwise we wouldn't have a quorum, I am going to have to vote. But it does not monetarily benefit me to vote. Just to clarify that.
motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Else? I don't know if we have anything.
No, I just,
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second
That or
that motion
we
to
can
adjourn.
discuss that upcoming,
what?
are you gonna discuss that upcoming model you're talking about and under the?
Well, we aren't going to do it yet, but the duty crews, a different duty crew concept. I showed Jim it. I talked to you a little bit about it. And I've gotten very positive response from my firefighters. It wouldn't be something that we would want to put in effect until July, because that's when the payroll ends. But I do want to, at least at the next meetings we have, to let your people know what it is. It wouldn't change any service that you're getting, it'd just be fewer people going on medical calls, is all the response.
It's the next attempt to
Avoid burnout.
burn out, but still have coverage for all the calls that are going out, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That can be 3-0, right?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned at 6:33. All right, well, that's about 15, 20 minutes extra there, Edward.
Still pretty quick.
Still not bad.
No, phenomenal. Excellent. And it's good to,
That's what took us so long.
we talked just a little bit here